I saw your girl, Candace, last night. Uh, she was with the TNT guys, the basketball
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She looked good.
Well, that's nothing new, baby.
I was thinking about you and Ice, and I was like, "It's not for you, Poppy."
Look, I can't even watch that show no more.
It's not for you, Poppy.
I'm glad I knew it was. I'm glad I didn't know it was on.
Oh my, she was looking tantalizing, but I'm like,
and see, that's the problem. So I won't be watching this show.
She was wearing an orange top. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's time to retire, Candace. You got another championship. Going to retire. Be with your wife.
She happy now. So now
the less I see of you, the better.
I can't even bear this watching. That's just bad. That's bad.
I wish you nothing but the best, but can't do it. Can't win with her. Can't do it. Can't look at her. Can't look at her no more. Can't look at her. Can't do it.
Keep it moving, babe.
Oh my, dude, I'm like, oh my God, these. I hope they watch it because she looking.
I'm glad I forgot you was on, man.
I'm glad I didn't even know it. Like I said, I got to get rid of my Wu-Tang tape and everything. Take that out of my playlist.
Never be the same, bro.
Oh my!
And have the nerve to do it on the song with George Clinton is on there. I love that song. I gotta take it out now. Take it out the rotation.
Like flying out, there's no real Santa.
Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad, Black Thor, Icewater, and yours truly, Puma. We're going to start with a summary of the NFL Week 15 before we go to our picks later on in the show, on our second show. So make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and keep hitting us up. Let's go to Week 15, Black. What were your thoughts? Give me a summary, man.
It continues, bro. The madness, the craziness continues. Tampa Bay can't score a point. They can't get a touchdown. They can't get a field goal. As you just said a little while ago, you got Tom throwing his tablet, cussing at the coach. That's one thing I don't realize. Well, I know New Orleans was beating them down, but he ran to the sideline and was swearing at your coach. Somebody should have ran in the back and flat him, bro. Somebody should have ran in the back, gave him 4. I'm sorry. Come up the bench, something. I'm surprised nobody in New Orleans didn't respond to that, bro. Because that shouldn't be happening. So I was looking at, it's just kind of crazy that these teams that are fighting for position and some of them, it just makes you wonder why even try to go Cleveland? Why are you trying to get there? What's going on? Washington, why are you fighting? Just kind of move out the way, baby. Let other teams go because it's just, I know the NFL loves it because they always want parity, but it gets to the point where it's like some of these teams, man, and I guess one thing we may probably talk about later is that the NFL did a serious job lying to the public about COVID, bro. Ain't no way in the world. No way in the world. They're prepared and act like they care. They give a damn about the COVID virus. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. We're not postponing no games. We're not doing this. Oh, I will say this, though. I love Tuesday night football. Damn, I like that. All they got to do is stagger the games a little bit, and I'm great.
I didn't even, I forgot the games were coming on Tuesday, so I missed both of those games. But this COVID thing, I don't think that they've been being honest with how many people had COVID throughout the whole season, because all of a sudden everybody's popping up and teams are losing players all of a sudden at the end of the season. Doesn't make sense to me. But there are some games, Ice, that really kind of made my eyebrows go up. You got Arizona and Detroit. I don't understand how that happened. Pittsburgh, every time you're trying to bury Pittsburgh, they always seem to kind of come back. Thank you to Tennessee. Tennessee really kind of gave them a door to go in. And the Denver-Cincinnati game, I expected Denver to win that game, but Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. I think he had a concussion, and he couldn't finish the game. So the other game that really surprised me is I thought Baltimore really had Green Bay on the ropes, and this coach constantly goes for 2 points or on fourth down. Sometimes it's not going to happen. Ice, your summary of the NFL Week 15.
Yeah, the horseshoe continues on with Pittsburgh. Are you serious? I'm watching the game. I'm going to watch part of it, keep checking up on it. And the fact that they came back and won that game, it's like, Now that's a team that if they luck up and get in the playoffs, I will bet $100 on them to lose because they have got every break, everything imaginable for them this year. And I guess they're playing the old Tom Brady philosophy. If you don't want it, we'll take it. And that's what it's really coming down to. If you don't want it, we'll take it. But that was crazy. I know it happened. I know they got rid of their coach, but I thought Jacksonville was going to rise up. I thought they would be motivated, and Houston beat them with some, I don't know who the hell the quarterback was. Some young guy came in, and I'm like, well, you think about the other quarterback in Jacksonville, they're feeling it, and they just couldn't get it done. And I said, wow, it must really be bad in Jacksonville. So it is bad in Jacksonville. That kind of threw me for a loop. And who knows with Denver and with the Bengals, man. The Bengals every other week. They're worse than Minnesota now. You just don't know what team is going to show up from that standpoint. And even though they played a close game, I think Green Bay had that switch they can turn on. I'm gonna be looking at Green Bay too because we'll go down the line. They got a switch, man. When it counts, and I know they kind of got by Baltimore last week without their true quarterback, but Green Bay, I'm starting to see something. They got to switch, so I'll be watching them closely.
Before we go to Urban Meyer, because we talked about him last week, Black, it looked like you got a big slice of cheesecake on your bed, man, and I got one in the refrigerator. I am feeding Big Donnie, this week with cheesecake. It looked like you got. I look over your shoulder. I keep looking at the cheesecake, getting distracted.
Nah, bro. You just look at the one you got in your fridge, bro. That ain't no cheesecake.
It looked like a cheesecake pillow. I got to get one of those. Anyway, we talked about Urban Meyer last week, and it seemed like he was fighting his way to get out of a job. And the very next morning, not even the next morning, right after we filmed the show last Wednesday night, I sent you all a text. Breaking news: Urban Meyer was fired. You gotta talk to me about your boy, man, because it just seemed like I think this is his last hurrah. I don't see anybody kind of picking him up the way he has been acting over the years, and people are really starting to figure out the real Urban Meyer. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's what it is. I don't really see him working again. The way that this ended, I'm not sure if his wife wants him to work again. And I mean, that's going to be his biggest problem because of all the drama that has been going on. And he had his shot at the NFL. Most coaches want to have one shot at the NFL. He got it, and he couldn't handle it. That was clear. The owner down there in Jacksonville did everything he could to kind of set Urban Meyer up, and it was simply too much. And that's key. But it's not to say whatever. He's had some issues in the past, but people bypass that stuff, look over that stuff when you win, and he's won. He's won a lot of games. He won a lot of national championships and some things. But as far as him going anywhere else, doing anything else, I can't see it. But if he does, I'll say this. I'm a little just tired of everybody talking about Urban Meyer. Okay, you can say what you want to about Urban Meyer, but I'm really looking at the people that's doing the hiring now. So now that you know, now you see what's really going on, and you continue to make these hires. Jacksonville did that. The owner was like, "Oh, I had to do something different. This is a can't miss situation." They studied him. They did all their due diligence. They still hired him. Does that give him a reason to say he shouldn't do well for them and the team shouldn't suck? No, I'm not giving an excuse there. But what about the dang on owners that hired him? So if a college coach or another college goes back around and starts sniffing around saying we want Urban Meyer as our coach, you already know what's going on. You see what's going in from you. It's like seeing somebody damage goods or somebody you know has a issue with something, and then you say, "Oh, I could change him. I could make him different. It's gonna be better here." Nah, you already see what it is. His time has come and it's gone. If you buy into it now, it's like watching the old Tiger or old Michael Jordan. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. If you buy into it now, damn on you. It's on you. Everybody's seen it, and it is what it is.
Black, I feel you predicted this when he first got hired, and I kind of saw it too. He's kind of that guy, you could see it on his face that he cannot tolerate losing. He can't, damn rebuilding. I want to step out on the field and win. And it kind of looks like to me, a little boy. his facial expressions, things of that sort, are really how he can't handle losing. And when you come into the NFL, it's really hard to win. I know we joke about it. We talk about people and how they lost games, but to come from college to the NFL, it's really hard to take that leap and win in the NFL.
I think the owner, and Ice probably kind of says some of this, deserves a lot of this, man. A lot, because no one says this, but he did not interview any black candidates. No one talks about this. And to me, some of the black commentators on the bigger networks, whatever, should be bringing this point out. Don't let Khan get away with this, because I believe he hired Urban Meyer for one reason only, not to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars, is to fill up the seats in Florida. We forget that Urban Meyer one time coached down there. There's a big fan base for him, and he thought that was going to help him kind of basically help solidify that franchise. This guy's always looking. I wouldn't be surprised at some point Jacksonville moves to London and play over there, I'll be honest with you, because there's no team fighting to play over there more than the Jacksonville Jaguars. So to me, I start with him. Urban Meyer never had a chance to coach the NFL, bro. You can't do what you do at Ohio State or NFL. You just can't. He doesn't have that mentality. When he brought in Tebow, you knew right then and there he was off his rocker. When you brought in Tebow and said, I'm going to turn Tebow, who's been out of the league for years, into a tight end, you're so arrogant and so stupid to think that that could possibly happen. And I said back then, what are you saying to your franchise as far as credibility? Then you brought that clown in from Iowa as a head coach, or I mean a defensive coach, whatever. Bro, do you realize you looked around your locker room and saw the faces and what people look like in that organization? He just kind of walked in like he owned the team, like he just had this carte blanche, do whatever he wants, and it kept falling into his face. So I honestly believe different. The man has won in college. There's going to be some university, there's going to be some president out there, there's going to be some university that goes, you know what? We're going to look beyond all that and bring him here. And I think in a year's time, he will be walking the college sideline. And I say the same thing. I would not give him a chance, because I said this when it happened with Ohio State. This man had a man him and his wife knew he had a man on his staff that was beating the hell out of his wife. Turned his head. Him and his wife act like they didn't know what was going on. When he got caught, what did he do? Oh, I'm in pain. This is hurting me. He's been a con man, a good college coach. Urban Meyer has been a con man for a long period of time. And you don't mind if you're getting con if you're getting a product out of them. So therefore, I think some college university is going to wait a little while. Next year, they'll wait a little while. And somebody will grab them. Someone will pick them up. But if you start to look at some of these college coaches that kind of, look at the guy that was in Louisville years ago. The guy, I think he might have been there when Lamar was there. He left Louisville under, circumstance with a young woman that was going up. We couldn't take long for somebody. Bobby Trino, I think of his name is correct. It didn't take long for somebody to basically grab him and thought he still had the potential to do something. So let me just say this point blank. White men in this country, as we know, can get fired from a dumb situation and get a job tomorrow. It's been that way ever since I've been on the face of this earth, bro. So I would never say, our chances are slim, but he has proven he can win in college. So I will not sit here and say he may not get a job in college, because they'll look over all that stuff. And be truthful, Nick Saban should not be able to go back to college, because when he left the NFL with his tail between his ass, I want to take him back to college. But look what Nick Saban has done since he's been in Alabama. It is what it is, bro. So I'm going to look at it that way. Should he coach again? Absolutely not. I wouldn't trust him. And for that kicker that he kicked, in my opinion, that's the reason he got fired. I think the owner wanted to fire him, but he didn't want to pay the rest of that contract. He was trying to wait for something. When that kicker came out and said, he kicked me, he said, you know what? Just cause. Let's go. He's out of here. He's not paying him. He's going to make him fight to get every dime that's owed to him. He's probably not going to get it all, if he get any. But I think when he basically embarrassed that franchise, rubbing up against that woman, oh yeah, they were ready at that point to get rid of him, bro. Especially when he started losing. At that point, they were ready. He was just waiting for the right time and the right movement. And when that kicker came out, there it is. He looked at that contract. His lawyers called him up. Yeah, you can do that. He's got to go.
Yeah. Ironic that a kicker gets kicked. You know how I feel about kickers. But I think it seemed like he showed us in that incident that he disengaged from the team. When you don't fly back with the team, it's almost like, this is not me. I'm not a part of this. and even the players kind of felt it. You could see it out on the play. So, you know, the way they were playing out there in the field. So he disengaged from the team well before the firing, but not surprised, really not surprised that he didn't make it through 1 year with this. I purposely stopped mentioning COVID on the show because I get called conspiracy theorists and all this other stuff. But the NHL just paused their season. And I'm thinking, Ice, should other leagues look to do this? Because every time you look up on the TV, on the, on the screen, there's some other player, some other team. They give the numbers of all these teams that got COVID. The players won't play. You pulling out Joe Johnson. I don't know where they got Joe Johnson from. Detroit signed him to a 10-day contract. All these NBA teams, people can't play. The Bulls games are being postponed left and right. NFL teams, they're just stacking them up and saying, all right, bring in your players, let's go. They don't care if you got 14, 15, 20 guys out. You better be ready to play when we blow that whistle. Ice, should the NBA, NFL, and other leagues say, you know what, let's pause it for a while and let's get this thing settled before we go back?
They probably should, but they're not going to. They probably should. Because here's the thing. When this is happening the way it is with these numbers are less escalating as we speak, that means somebody is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, either not even vaccinated, or they're not taking care of themselves and they just kind of running crazy. I think what they should do is start finding people, start finding teams, start finding people. So I bet you the numbers change then. You start getting, you get the numbers down a little bit then when you start finding people, start hitting their pocket or making them lose something because they're not taking care of themselves. You can't tell me this is automatically, all of a sudden, all these dudes just start getting COVID, dropping. Some people they're not doing something right. That's not a coincidence. There's too many people doing it, but they're not gonna stop. Like you said, NBA, ISO Joe got signed. I'm glad for ISO Joe. I'm glad. I wanted to see ISO Joe back. I think he deserved another shot. Lance Stevenson got a contract. My boy is back.
Isaiah Thomas. They bring them all back.
Yeah, they got him back. But see, the NFL, though, I told you, Boomer, you mess around, you be the next quarterback for the Bears. Because they don't care, man. You know why they don't? You know how they don't tell you they don't care? When the Cleveland Browns were down to their last, they lost Baker Mayfield, they lost the backup, and then they had that last rookie. It was like, well, maybe they ought to sign somebody. Dude was like, we don't care. The coach had COVID. Everybody, they lost like 18 players. NFL, like, I don't give a damn. You better put the owner's son in there. Somebody playing. Didn't that brother, that's the general manager, then he got some eligibility left, they're gonna put him in. I'm trying to tell you, NFL want their money, baby. They do not care. They're not gonna stop. So the worst thing I think the NFL would do is if we got to a point where you get close to the playoffs, teams just don't start showing up or they start being reckless, they're either gonna find them or they just gonna say, well, they don't deserve it, like like they're doing now, talking about college football the same way, that if you're not ready and you don't have enough players to play, we're just gonna forfeit the game and we're gonna move on. See, that's cash money. They don't care. They want their money. NFL is that way. NBA is trying to do everything they can to do that. NHL, they're trying to be politically correct. Okay, that's just well and good. NFL is not playing that. They control their own league. We've said this 100 times. I'm gonna say it for the 101 time, first time. The NFL don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. They write their own rules. Kaepernick, I can go down the line, all kinds of stuff. They do not care. All they care about is getting their cash, keeping that cash flowing, and they will put anybody out there if they have to, from 7th graders to whoever they need to put out there. Punt, pass, and kick champions, whatever they need to do from back in the day, they would do whatever they had to keep that money flowing. So, yeah, maybe one day it'll get right, unless people started, let me just say this, unless people literally start dying, right? You start seeing people dying, then you go, oh, yeah, we're going to shut it down. But as long as you can get a shot, come back in 10 days, 15, 20 days, they're going to keep it rolling, bro. You ain't sick. You just got a cold. You ain't got COVID. You got the flu. You're not really sick. That's how they do it. I keep telling you, and I'm being serious, unless people really are tragically ill. But if you come back in 10 days, man, they're gonna keep it rolling. Other leagues may change. NBA may change. They're a little bit more softer. They might, if they start seeing more of an epidemic, they might kind of pull back a little bit because they got a little more time too, right? They got a little time this season. They can either cut it short or they can go longer if they need to. The NFL though, baby, we're in week 16. We getting close to the playoffs. This is money time. Super Bowl, all that, Super Bowl out in Los Angeles, brand new stadium. You think they're gonna shut the Super Bowl down? Man, it's like March Madness. I keep trying to tell y'all. Every time I tell y'all think I'm being silly and crazy and I'm off my rocker. I'll be that way because I'm on medication. But I keep trying to tell you. But you might want to listen.
Like, I'm thinking the NHL did this because they have more teams than Canada. And Canada has, some more stricter restrictions. Yeah. And so, the United States teams can't come bouncing in and out of Canada. But how do you see this playing out, man?
I think you're dead on about NHL. I was going to say the same thing. You took that bet. I think the country itself said, no, you're not bouncing it back and forth through all this. We don't care about your league. NHL just had that conversation. They said, we're going to do what we got to do. Silverman already said the NBA ain't pausing. They're not pausing, bro. They might go back in the bubble before they shut things down. Yeah. They're not pausing. He already said they're not pausing. I meant to say this last week, and I got to commend this cat. Durant, when he played the game with 8 guys, 7 guys he played, there were a bunch of rookies out there, G League players, and they won. I commend him. He kind of supported them. They played well. That happened about a week ago. But it's gotten so bad in the NBA, they're bringing Kyrie Irving back. They're bringing Irving. You can play when you want to play. We don't care anymore. That's how bad it's got the NBA, bro. You talk about other players, but look at that. The Brooklyn Nets, come on, Kyrie. You ain't even got to come into New York. You ain't got to play. Don't worry. They play in the role. That's how bad it is in the NBA. And my thing is, and I'll get to the NFL in a second, they have all basically lied to the public, bro. When you think about it, they act like they were going to get vaccinated, all this stuff, NFL, or the whole league will be vaccinated. When you have a man, one man is proven, got ratted and got turned out in NFL, that he used a fake, that's a felony, bro. That's a felony. You know what the NFL did to him? Go home for 3 weeks. Go home for 3 weeks. Just go home. No, he should have been suspended for the season, bro. You know how much distrust that is on the highest level? In Tampa Bay, the coach Aaron, well, I don't know if I'm going to bring him back. Yeah, Thompson, you're bringing him back. He's back this week. They don't care about this COVID, bro. Like I said, there's way too much money at stake. And it's funny because I'm looking at Cleveland and Nick Mullins don't look bad. I'm like, wait a minute, what y'all been hiding him? Because realistically, he's playing better than Baker. The cat that was playing for Washington last night, Gilbert, what the hell y'all been, this cat he out there slinging the ball like he's been playing for the past 10 years. So I'm saying, when you could do that, when you can find players on the cheap and the heap and bring them in, and they surpass the players that's out there, because I'm going to be honest, Gilbert looks better than Dak. He ain't making 160, 70 million. If you didn't see the game last night. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. That cat was slinging that ball, taking hits. Would be his first time he played it. You got to be kidding me. So really, they don't care, bro. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. The man came out and basically lied to your face and caught the COVID. Guess what NFL said? Go home for a week. Come on back here. We need you. So it's what it comes down to, bro. They lost most leagues, if not all, professional leagues, lost a lot of money in the past couple 2 years, bro. They're not doing that again. They're not doing it. They're just not. They're not giving that cash. It's too good right now. The stands are full. People can care less. They don't care less if you're wearing a mask in the stand. I don't understand. The players come to the sideline. Who got a mask on? NBA. Who come to the sideline? Who's wearing them? Nobody. So I'm just saying, I mean, let's be real. They know there's going to be some people catching it. They already know they don't care. PR in this country is a mother, bro. And the NFL and the NBA have sold us on PR. They could care less. They just don't care. They don't. Keep the season moving. Keep it going on. Like I said, the Super Bowl is not that far away, bro. And SoFi Stadium, that nice stadium in California, bro, please, come on, man. I mean, I'm surprised Texas A&M did recruit some players and said, we're going to play in this bowl anyway. We don't care. I was surprised they pulled the plug. I was shocked when I read that. They pulled the plug. I mean, they really said, no, we're not coming. All the money that university's going to lose. Bro, no, it's about the dollars, man. I know we watch the games and we get excited. It's about the dollars. When they say it ain't about the money, it's more about the money. And that's what this is. NFL don't care. COVID who? COVID what? Have you seen Roger Goodell lately? I haven't seen him.
He probably isolated like I ain't catching
you. I haven't seen him. You haven't seen Roger Goodell. I'm not coming out. I'm not coming. I see you so far. I'm not coming out, bro. I'm not coming out.
Well, we'll stay on top of this story. I mean, we got another week to the end of the year, but this is really looking bad. And I didn't see the games last night, Tuesday night, but it's got to hurt to play somewhere along the line where people go say, you know what, I don't want to watch this. I'm not engaged.
I'm gonna tell you something, man, real quickly. The Cleveland game, it was not that bad. Realistically, I didn't see the Buccaneers game, what a low-scoring game that was. But I'm here to tell you, like I said, Washington-Philly game was not a bad game. With a quarterback that wasn't even on their radar. They got the quarterback off the Patriots practice squad. Balled out. Seattle, Los Angeles, good games. So it's like, I've seen worse games and players that had their full roster. Let's be honest, man. I've seen worse. And I'm serious, man. I don't know, Cleveland, you got to be kidding me. That Nick Mullins game, they were dropping passes. He had on the money, bro. Bang. I mean, right in. There's a guy, number 11 for Cleveland. He put the ball right here. He was tightly covered. Boop. Boop.
Yeah. One of the things Joe Burrow said is because I guess Cincinnati is the team that doesn't have too many cases or any cases at all. And he said, really, it's nothing to do in Cincinnati, so ain't nowhere to go. So that's why we're not getting it. So maybe somebody they're out there partying, they're out there just, living their life and not worried about being in a pandemic. Let's go to the NBA in the eye test. Before we get to the Steve Kerr story, he just picked up the head coaching job with USA Basketball. Ice, give me your eye test of the NBA. I know you watched that game last night with the Lakers and the Suns.
Yeah, Suns, man. Woo, what can you say? They still moving along, playing real good basketball. Number one in the West. Golden State is number two. Man, I think when they get Klay Thompson back and Wiggins, it's gonna be hell to pay, man. Because they're playing well still with Steph Curry. They're gonna be hell to pay. Utah's number three, very interested in that. Memphis is in the fourth slot in the West. Kind of surprising a little bit there, but an 11th slot in the West is Portland. If you don't see it now, that they need to do some reorganization and trade somebody, that little two-guard thing, tandem y'all got over there, it doesn't work. It's not working. Not working. So you either need to bring some more people in, which you've been saying for seems like 8 years now, or do something else over there. Sacramento got a lot of people that they want to get rid of. Brooklyn's number one still with all of the COVID and all that too, and Harden being out and everybody, and I need Durant's out now, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. So they bring back Kyrie. He goes into the protocol. It's hilarious, though, when you mention it, because that's all they need now. So you telling them now, Kyrie can come back and play in the off game, so they just let him go nuts. And then Durant them, we'll take care of the home game. You take care of the away game.
That's a sad situation to be making all that money and being allowed to do that.
But I'm just saying, you think about that. They probably had a conversation. Well, we just gonna let you go off, then you get your rest, and then we come back take the home game. You cool? Yeah, I'm cool with that. So that's what you're talking about. And they in first place for all of the naysayers. They still number one in the East. Chicago number two in the East. Cleveland is number three. They had a heck of a run lately. Won a lot of basketball games. Surprisingly up there. We'll see if they can keep it going, but they've been very impressive lately. Even with losing Sexton for the year. That's really, really interesting for me that Cleveland's in the third spot. Miami's fourth. Milwaukee's five. And the favorite team of the Goon squad, the other two gentlemen, Atlanta is in the 11th spot. Go figure. I guess that little change in that rule where you can't just jump into people make a difference, huh, Trey Young? Anyway, not just picking on you. I'm just saying, little dude.
Leave little dudes alone, man. What surprised me a lot, Black, is watching Minnesota and watching Anthony Davis against Cat last week. And Cat was giving him problems to the point where Anthony Davis, he tried to get himself hurt like 2 or 3 times in the game and then finally got out of the game. That cracked me. I was hoping you were watching that game because he was giving Anthony Davis the business and they couldn't do anything with him. Give me your eye test, man.
I didn't see that game, but it's funny you say that because I've been telling my son this all season. If you watch Anthony Davis play, there's certain points of the game where he acts like he's hurt. And he'll look over at Frank Vogel like, take me out. Frank, he looks the other way. So he's finally, I saw him in a press conference after the game. I'm talking about it. Yeah, I thought it was hurt more, but they told me I'm only going to be out 4 to 6. No, like, damn, I'm going to, nothing. He's like, I'm going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. You can catch me in Hawaii. I'll probably be in Hawaii a little while. I haven't seen, I'm serious, man. You talk about a soft brother. And years ago, I would have paid to see this cat play. Anthony Davis is soft, man. He has his one championship. He don't care about nothing else. Nothing. He's happy with that. He never expected to have that in the first place. He only got that because LeBron agent, they have the same age demanded you come to LA and play and man up. And he barely got that. Let's be honest. He got it in the season. I wouldn't even count as a championship. But realistically, that brother don't care. He just doesn't care. And whenever he's playing, is dogging him out, oh, he's going off the game. I don't care if he breaks his fingernail, whatever he has to do. I'm going to the bench. I'm not being embarrassed like this. So it doesn't surprise me at all, bro. When the team really needs him, he's down. And this bit about they're trying to trade Westbrook, who the hell wants Westbrook? Who? Name me the team that wants Westbrook. Name the team that wants Westbrook or Ben Simmons. I'm a little surprised, even though the rules has changed, that Atlanta has dropped that far, bro. What happened to them? I saw them up and coming with that talent, that coach. And it's like, what happened? Let's look at them now. It's like, they're shell. Same thing, but they kind of mention it. The Knicks. What happened? What happened? I mean, really, what? I'm not even gonna talk about the top tier team because you know what they're doing. But the Knicks, what happened to you? You wouldn't got Kemba for what? I mean, what really happened? I don't understand it, bro. I don't. I'm gonna leave it there as far as my eye test. I said whatever really needs to be said. I'm hoping that Philly can kind of get a little better. I know that they're kind of bouncing around a little bit. They're doing some things. They get a little tough. Milwaukee, I think, will kind of get their ship right at some point and start to play better and realize they are champions. They better step up and start defending. But some of these teams that last year kind of finished strong, what the hell happened to these teams, bro? What happened?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too. It's got to be more than the rule change that's happening with these teams. I think teams that did well last year that weren't expected to do well, they're not sneaking up on teams anymore. The Knicks aren't sneaking up on teams anymore. Atlanta's not sneaking up on teams anymore. But you have teams like Memphis that are really trying to earn their keep in these leagues. And I'm not even going to go about the Lakers and how they look, but they're pushing the panic button in Lakerland because they want to be. They were looking at being top of the West, the Western Conference, and it was going to be easy with all these experienced guys. But you can smell the Bengay. I'm in Chicago. I can smell the Bengay over here in Chicago, in LA, in the locker room. Let's go to Steve Kerr. Now, we've talked about Steve Kerr Black for a while, stepping over, coaching the Golden State Warriors, and he finally gets his shot to coach the USA team. And I was looking at some of the stats and the accolades of Steve Kerr. He got a lot of hardware, a lot of stuff that makes him deserving of getting this honor. So I'm gonna let you take it away there.
You gotta pull the
don't
archives.
Say nothing about Mark Jackson, please.
You gotta pull the archives on this one because you finally, after 3-4 years, say something nice about Steve Kerr. Talk about we know ice and I ain't been talking about Steve Kerr. You talking about Steve Kerr. Come on, man. I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta give it what it's due, bro. I mean, the best move he ever made in his career. I know he played for Chicago Bulls, whatever. The best move this man ever made in his career. He told Phil Jackson, "I'm not coming to New York. I'm not doing it." The guy knows basketball, bro. Not only that, Steve Kerr, he knows basketball. He's an excellent coach. But Steve Kerr knows how to work people, bro. He knows how to work people. Something about him, He has that mental capacity, the psychological capacity to work you, and you don't even know you're being worked. I'm being honest. Because if you look at what he does with the forward, I can't think of his name right now, from Michigan State, he has worked that guy year in and year out, and he gets out of what he needs out of players. He finds a way to get it. So I'm not surprised. Only thing that's surprising me at this point right now is when Popovich will step his ass down and move out the way and let Becky Hammond coach that damn team. Pop, it's time to move on. Don't walk away from the USA team. Walk away from basketball, Pop. You've done it. San Antonio is not coming back no time soon while you're on the sideline. But congratulations, Steve Kerr, because he's finally has another thing he can hang on to his wall, because the man can coach, bro. He can actually flat out coach. Even last year when they didn't look good, he wasn't worried. He was just coaching. He was a coach, and his players that he coached last year, look at them now. That's coaching. There's not a lot of good coaches in the NBA. There's not a lot of good ones. But that young man, or that gentleman right there, he can coach, bro. Absolutely. So yes, the mere fact they put him in charge. Remember a couple of years ago, he had an illness. They didn't even know he was going to come back to coaching, bro.
Right.
He was coaching from home. And you know, at the time, you had, what's the name, son there, Walton's son. And I remember him saying, nah, that wasn't my job. So he was coaching. We thought Walton, look what Walton has done since he left the Golden State sideline. He went to LA, couldn't survive. And Sacramento, they got rid of him. So yes, even from home with an illness, that team went on a winning streak, bro. Winning streak. Once again, the best move we ever made is saying, I'm not coaching the Knicks. I'm not working under Phil Jackson. And look where he is now. And don't even bring up Mark Jackson name, bro. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't want to hear it no more. It's disrespectful to bring up Mark Jackson. I don't care, Mark Jackson. He got the best shooters. Mark Jackson. I'm just gonna be honest, bro. You're an idiot, because that should be your job. If you weren't trying to be Bishop T.D. Jakes, somebody else, that would be your job, bro. You could have been there. It was laid out for you. But if you wasn't trying to be all that, that's where you would be. And I'm tired. I at some point, I hope they take you up ABC, because I'm tired of listening to you. That's what I think of Mark Jackson. Shimmy that.
What do you think about Steve Kerr?
I don't know how to follow that up because, man,
He's hot tonight. He's hot tonight.
I mean, from the standpoint of Steve Kerr, I mean, he had an opportunity and he ran with it. Says a lot about that too. I think the one thing that he has more than anything that may be a little different than other people is Steve Kerr has played on the highest level, but Steve Kerr never was really like the star. I mean, he's pretty good at Arizona, right? But when he got to the pros, he was a shooter, serviceable. He got to understand about the different levels of players. And I think when he had opportunity, it took him a little bit, but once he got into what was going on, he understood what it took to win. And surround himself also with some solid assistant coaches too. Because even though the guy may not be a great head coach, Mike Brown is one hell of an assistant. He's shown that over the years, and some other guys too. And they know how to work, work their system. But rightfully so. I mean, he deserved it. I mean, he's been able to work with guys that are superstars. And then when they got KD, he came over. Everybody's talking about they're not going to get along and whatever. And he worked the system and they won titles. So I think that says a lot. And when you look around the whole, the coaching sphere, as far as like, who can possibly serve as a replacement for Pop. I thought Pop was a little old and I mean, he got it done, but I think he started writing on the wall. I was like, you know what? I couldn't connect with those guys. We barely got over. And again, for all those that say this guy's no good, might want to thank Kevin Durant again for carrying them, because without him, they'd have been in trouble. But the whole point of it is when you look around the potential candidates who could have taken over, first thing you think about a guy like Steve Kerr, who's one. The other people that maybe could step in, I'm not sure if those folks are proven. I'm sure there are a couple other ones. I would like to see. I think he's around. I'm not sure he's back on it. I'm not sure he'll get that shot ever, but I'd like to see him continue to be groomed for one day getting a shot at that, and that's Monty Williams. I think that would be great to see a man of color in that position at some point. It may not be right away, but considering what's going on with Steve Kerr, having somebody like Monty Williams around and kind of getting the gist of it, now that Grant Hill is kind of, kind of trying to cement himself in the position of making decisions as well. I think it'll be time for somebody of color to take that up whenever Steve Kerr is done with it. But I think he deserved it. I mean, I'm not even gonna throw that Black Thor threw enough shade on Mark Jackson. I don't have to say too much about that. I mean, as much as he says that it doesn't bother him or whatever, it has to bother him. When you see that team rolling down the road and they just winning championships and you know the game. That's the one thing about Mark Jackson. Everybody knows he knows the game. Everybody knows he can coach. He's proven that. And you were right at the cusp of getting those guys where they needed to be. They're about to take off. And then they left you at the airport. You had to be like, damn, I missed that plane. You had to just think about that a little bit. And kudos to him for being able to push it down like it doesn't matter. But you can't tell me he is not being at home crying in this pillow once or twice going, I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry. Because that has to be rough watching another man having success with a place where you were. It would hurt me because I'd be really probably more pissed off, but it says a lot about his character. But got to give it to Kerr. I was glad they gave it to Kerr because they've been doing a lot of retreads. I like Pop, but like I said, I think his time is up. As Black Thor mentioned, he need to go down, sit somewhere down. Coach K stuff was starting to catch up with him. He's getting older, but as we see now, with all of the shenanigans that are coming out, with all of the troops and people taking monies allegedly and all this stuff coming out, Coach K was like, yeah, I better sit down because they're going to mess around and find something. They this close already. And he just had to go on and walk away. So, but congratulations to Steve Kerr, still winning, still moving, going to continue to move on. But again, I'm going to have to say a little prayer for Mark Jackson for being humble and tolerance, bro, because I'd be mad as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'd be mad. But like, look, and then too, the sad thing about it is, it's based, and they will never say this, but in my opinion, it's based on, differences in opinion and, your beliefs take you a long way. And I guess you gotta be a man of your principles and beliefs, but sometimes you airing those out in your workplace can hurt you, bro. We're not in church, basketball.
Every time I think about this situation, I think about the Four Top song when she was my girl. The big leg girl is gone, And Mark Jackson. I mean, man, just think if Mark Jackson would have held on and got this team to, I mean, wow. It would have totally changed his kind of career and how people really think of him. But I mean, Steve Kerr stepped in and he did what he was supposed to do. And you see the Golden State Warriors now, and you see his player, his number one player. And I'm going to talk about him and coming from Davidson because Davidson upset Alabama recently. And that's, I think, the first time they beat a top 10 team since Stephon Curry was with Davidson. But kudos to Steve Kerr. Can't take nothing from him. He deserved all the accolades. And quit looking at me like that, Black. Let's go on to college basketball. Let's go through the top 10. Baylor, number 1, followed by Duke, Purdue, Gonzaga, UCLA, who dropped 1 spot. Arizona, I'm watching them now against Tennessee, number 6, followed by Kansas, USC, Iowa State, who's going to play Baylor on New Year's Day, followed by Alabama at number 10. And don't look now, Michigan State is slowly sneaking up at number 11, followed by Auburn at number 12. I think I'm going to stop it. No, I'm going to keep going because I want to shout out Houston, who's been playing some good basketball, Ohio State. And if you haven't had a chance to check out Seton Hall out of New Jersey, check out Seton Hall out of the Big East. But give me your eye test, Ice, on college basketball this week.
Yeah, 2 teams I want to throw out there because they have not been high ranked early, but they're working their way up. You mentioned one of them was Iowa State, and another team is LSU. I didn't know LSU was playing that kind of basketball, but they are doing pretty well there. When you think about, I think UCLA and Arizona play coming up here, not this week, but maybe next week. That's going to be a key game because Arizona's their coach is coming out of nowhere, taking over for Sean Miller. They're playing real well with some of his players that were there before. And it's a lot going on. I think that you see teams like Purdue, Gonzaga, Ohio State. Some of these teams, when they lose games, again, I'll say this: I think it's a great thing. They might misinterpret this, but the factor that Gonzaga has already lost this season is going to serve them well. It's going to serve them well because they don't have that weight on their shoulders, having to be number one for years, all year long, and afraid to lose. I think it's going to serve them well because they're very talented. But I'm interested to see how the rest of this plays out. The one team I'm really looking at, I don't know if it's the players, if it's coaching, or they just taking time to get warmed up. That's the University of Michigan. I'm a little surprised by the way that they've been falling by the wayside. I'm interested to see how they play when conference play opens up for the Big Ten. Will they be able to come back? Because they had this the big centers playing real well.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they're struggling to work around him.
Black, I'm looking at Connecticut too. And one of the things in the Big East, if you don't have enough players or you have players in protocol, you forfeit games. And I know that's going to hurt them for the big dance coming up in February and March. So what's your eye test of the different leagues in college basketball?
It's interesting you say that because I watched them play Providence over the weekend. And they get up and down the court kind of well, but I don't think they're deep enough. I don't think they're big enough either to kind of handle what may come with the big dance and stuff of that nature. Because Providence inside, this was killing them, bro. The men in Providence, the bigger brothers in Providence kind of took the work to them. So it's going to be a little surprised to see how UConn kind of make it throughout the rest of the season. I think they're pointing in the right direction, but they might need some stronger recruits. I think this coach that came in a couple of years ago has picked up and kind of got them pointed in the direction they need to go. Ironically, I'm going to drop this in real quick. For the first time, I think in a long time, UConn women have dropped out of the top 10. Mm-hmm. And that's something to kind of, when you think about, a couple of years ago on this show, it was like, they just need to stop playing UConn because they're that good. And now look where they are now. I had a chance to kind of see a little bit of North Carolina, and I'm just going to say that because I don't know how much longer you're going to be given a chance to kind of get things really going there. A friend of mine went down to see Georgetown play over the weekend, and Patrick Ewing ain't what he was. That team ain't what they were last year. So it's interesting to see some teams. I know Ice was talking about Michigan, some teams that we kind of thought last year was kind of in a right trajectory and was heading in the right direction. Look at some of them now, you're going like, hey, what's going on? Now you got the top 10 you spoke of. I'm still kind of paying attention. I think Gonzaga, I agree. I think it was good to kind of lose a game now, but I still think Gonzaga is not big enough to handle the full court of basically being bounced around a little bit and the speed that they're going to face when it comes down to the big dance.
North Carolina, Hubert Davis, I think they're going to give him maybe 1 or 2 years to kind of develop. And if he doesn't, then somebody else, they'll be knocking on his door or tapping him on his shoulder because he's trying to, I see what he's trying to do, but he got to be better at recruiting. You got to be better at recruiting. You got to get some of the blue chippers, as they say, in college basketball. Is anybody watching the bowl games? I cannot sit there and watch 6-16, 7-16, 7 and the only bowl game I did watch was Jackson State, and Coach Prime and Jackson State fell to South Carolina State. It was a dominating performance by South Carolina State, but I expect to see Coach Prime and Jackson State right back in the mix again. But is anybody? Are you Black? Are you watching any of the bowl games?
No, for me, there's no interest in it. Like you said, you're seeing these teams play. I remember for some reason years ago when New Year's Eve came up, around close to New Year's Eve, you have like 3 or 4 days where you were kind of glued to your TV watching some of these bowl games. But they were competitive, they were strong. I'm sorry. We know what drives the bowl games, but we're not even at. I was surprised to even see a week before Christmas, you're playing bowl game? What the? I mean,
the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, the Idaho Potato Bowl.
It's like, what is the, two sides of the coin. I will say this. For kids that and probably at schools that wouldn't necessarily probably make it to a bigger school and get a chance to play in a bowl game, I understand that to an extent. I do get it. But you can't expect people to sit there basically and just watch that type of level of play, man. You just can't. It's just hard to believe that sports fans are that desperate to give you 3 hours to watch that. It's just, I don't think around the clock it's going to happen. Here again, Christmas is not even here yet, bro. Christmas is not here. And you, and a week before, a week and a half before, you rolling out bowl games? You know, if anything, in my opinion, and I know it'll never happen, I don't see why you have 4 weeks, 5 weeks between the championship game. I just don't understand it, bro. They could talk about midterms, whatever term, finals, whatever. But if college is really serious about it, you need to close that gap, bro. Forget all these bowl games. 2 to 3 weeks, go play football, bro. This month off and a month half off is not necessary anymore. And if it is, then start the season a little later, get a little closer to it. Because I don't understand it. That I don't understand. But then again, they got to have all these bowl games on for 3 weeks. Other than that, what is the point of having a big all this time off before we see 1 through 4 play?
Like, yeah. Why would you put a team that is 500? And I understand about the money and all that other stuff, but as far as advertising, nobody's watching. I see it. I pass by it and go. I look at the records on the scoreboard and go, no, I can't watch this. Let me go to Friday After Next and watch, the Santa Claus robbing people and stuff like that. I'd rather watch that than watch college football at this particular time. What's the problem with this?
Well, the problem is you have a life. You have other things you do with your time. You're not just a guy that just has to watch football. There's still fanatics, people that are crazy about football. They'll watch almost anything that's on. If you tell me, here's the thing, if people will watch Arena League football, right? Let's be real. People literally like glued to the station watching Arena League football. They would definitely watch college football. Now, the bowl games, I haven't seen any the matchups that really made me want to go, ooh, let me stop. But there are people that just love football, and they'll watch almost anything from college to Pee Wee to whatever. But I think I will watch. I'm going to watch my first bowl game, or attempt to watch my first bowl game on December 28th when in the Guaranteed Bowl, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Minnesota, West Virginia. I want to see that with the row the boat and the coach in Minnesota. And then I think I'm going to try to check out. I won't catch another one until January 1st, which everything will be on. I want to see Ole Miss versus Baylor. I like Baylor. And then to get a chance to see Lane Kiffin coach with all of his shenanigans and whatnot. And then after that point, I'll be ready for the big games. The one game I really do want to see, I know it's not a small bowl game. I literally want to see how Cincinnati is going to prepare for Alabama. I really want to see that. I'm interested to see, can they hang with Alabama? Because we get to find out whether or not Alabama is for real. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till New Year's Eve. Because I'm not interested in any one of these bowl games. And it never used to be like that. When you had the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and you had all these different bowls, they were prestigious. But now you got the Tony the Tiger Bowl, you got, the guarantee, you just mentioned Guaranteed Loan Bowl. They don't mean anything to me. There's no history. There are no teams that I really want to watch. I don't know anybody on these teams or as far as relatives of things. And so it's becoming meaningless, and it's becoming just a showcase for these sponsors for these bowl games to make their money at that particular time. So, I don't know how long it's going to last. I would be interested in seeing the viewership of some of these games that are being put on.
When is the golf world to understand that Tiger's not coming back?
Ice?
I think the golf world, most of them now know that he's not coming back, but they're going anytime they can find a way to get some coin and bring his butt back in any capacity, from riding in the golf cart to ceremoniously cutting flowers off and handing them off at the Masters. They're gonna use it's like a show pony. Anytime they can run Tiger Woods out there, oh, he's been hurt. He turned over the car 19 times and he's lived to tell about it. He almost amputated his leg. You know how they built the straight, almost amputated his leg. And here's Tiger. But this time, for as much as Tiger was the story and they should let it go, the individual that stole the show was his son, Charlie. At age 12, it was just another way to pump it up because he has the same mannerisms as his dad, and it was so, I guess what they call cute for them watching them together, and America loved it. So I think they kind of feel that he's not coming back, but whenever he shows up, he's not coming back in the same capacity. When anytime he want to show up and put on his red shirt or put on or anything he want to show up to a golf charity, the media is going to love to see him, because the sad part of it is that they have not found anybody else to replace him. They've tried out a lot of candidates. A lot of people have been called number one, but nobody has stepped up to the forefront to win enough, be consistent enough to replace Tiger Woods. So I think they realize that he's not coming back the way that he was, but damn it, he got a standing invitation. Anytime you want to come out here and just wave to the people, because we know that's nothing but cash money. People gonna tune in to see Tiger.
Man, Tiger Woods reminds me of David Ruffin and the Temptations. So they come to see me. They come to see you, Otis. And so as long as he's around, just like I said, people are going to be attached to him. He is the person that people want to see. They don't want to see anybody else. And so they can't let it go. The horrifying thing about this, and I saw the videos with him and his son, is that you have commentators who are banking on his son now to come and take over. And I'm like, don't do that to that kid. This kid is 12 years old. So now you're going to put pressure. You put pressure on Tiger. You got him all razzled. Now you're going to put, now you're holding on to Tiger until his son is eligible to play or can compete. And now you're going to put the pressure on him. It's like they're going to trade off a cash cow for the younger cash cow. And it's like, that's scary. And we shouldn't be doing that. Even though he stole the show, it was cute to see him out there. He has some of the same mannerisms. The DNA is there, the swing, everything. Quit trying to bank on that he's going to be the next Tiger Woods. Stop it. And it's sad that golf doesn't have that other superstar that could take over golf. But there hasn't been one dude that stepped up that could do the things that this dude does. And so you keep holding on to him. It's almost like boxing. Like you keep holding on to that old champion. You can't do it anymore because nobody else is stepping up and has the charisma. I remember when Ali couldn't do it anymore. It was the crowd that kept Ali going. And it got to a point where you can't go back in the ring again. And they seem like they're doing the same thing with Tiger Woods. We do that to our icons, and I think it's very sad. Black?
It is sad, man, because, I didn't pay attention, obviously, but I was listening to some radio commentary that night. And I'm telling you, bro, these folks, he still has the swing. It won't be long. And I'm saying to myself, what are you talking about? And I thought it was interesting. They talked to one guy, and he asked Tiger, what do you want me to tell the people? Tell them just to slow down, that I'm not there. So then he came back, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, well, he has to say, the guy was like, no. He said, you realize that Tiger is not walking?
Right.
You realize that he's not, and it's like, the guy said to us like he smacked him in the face. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's like at some point, I mean, I agree. What he's meant to golf, the golf world is beautiful. When Tiger won, what he meant to Black America initially was beautiful. I'll be honest, it was. But when you put things in perspective, he is not going to play and he's 90. It's like at some point, you have to understand that's past and gone. You have to start to see him for where he is and what's going on. Nice his son has his DNA. He does all that. It's cute. It's nothing more than that. There's nothing more. And I'll be honest, Tiger, for what you went through in golf, I would take that damn golf club out of his hand. I would take it out of his hand, bro. Take it out of his freaking hand. Let him do what he wants to do, not what you want him to do. Just my opinion.
Yeah. I asked your question.
Yeah, something that's really been out there, dealing with the licensing in college sports and high school and stuff like that too. Now we have some things coming up, there's supposed to be some kind of like a league coming up for basketball where it's gonna be like 6 teams where kids can go and make some money and then still keep moving. Another option. Do you think the NIL, which is the licensing situation for kids going to college or whatnot and coming out of high school in sports, is is it a favorable, or is it having a positive influence on sports right now, or a negative influence on sports?
Right.
I don't think it could be more negative with the influence of sports is already on a lot of kids, bro. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think so. I mean, for years, we sat back and watched these kids give their hearts off. The university had made millions off of them. And a lot of them didn't go beyond. So if there's other options, because every kid is not made to go to college. It's just not. I'm just going to put that out there. So if they got another option to do some things, and long as it can be kind of controlled, I'm not against it, bro. Because I'm just, part of me, I'm tired of seeing these universities make all this money and don't act like they basically turned around and say, yeah, you deserve to make money off your, like, no. There had to have been blood, sweat, and tears, fight. Congress threatened to get involved for anything to happen. California had to basically stand and say, we will no longer allow our young men and women to be taken advantage of. And, you know, it's funny how, you know, Kaepernick spoke of slavery in the plantation NFL. I hope he talked about it in college, which I didn't see. But I would hope damn sure he talked about it in college, because that little scholarship they give you, what you give them, it doesn't equal. It doesn't matter out. So any option that they can go out and do something different, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It's been inevitable for a long time, and I'm not going to count somebody else's money, as we say in the hood, count another man's money or another woman's money. It was inevitable. It had to happen. Are there going to be some repercussions from it? Are there going to be some consequences from it? Yes, there are. And with all things, that there sometimes you just can't avoid this stuff. But it'll just be interesting to see how this plays out. The thing that I hope it doesn't do is ruin the sport. That's the only thing that I really kind of try to bank on, that despite all its folks making money changing hands, this, that, the other, it doesn't go to the criminal element where people are fixing games, all this stuff to make more money, or getting greedy, or tarnishing the game, or determining the outcomes of different games or different players and things of that sort. That's the only thing that bothers me about this whole thing. But if people have a chance to make money, I'm not going to stand in the way of them doing that, and I'm not going to have a problem with it. Ice?
Yeah, it's just the factor that I think they should be open to receive what they need to get. They're making their own deals. I just hope that some of these guys have some representation behind them, people that really have an idea of their best interest at heart. So when they make this money, they just don't blow it, whatever situation may be. Because truth be told, the one thing I always was a little nervous about, not that I don't want them to get your money, but everybody not ready for the league, bro. Everybody not gonna make it. Everybody's not gonna be a superstar. So what you receive out front now might be part of the only real true payment you get. And I think they should be very careful. The one thing I found ironic though is when Deion Sanders secured the young man that was the number one recruit, then the talk came to the point of, like, as if Jackson State used NIL to land that recruit. And I heard Deion in another interview said that wasn't the case. He said, I went to the house, and once I got in the house, it was a wrap, because I know, talking to my mama, what it was like talking to his mama. And I just laid it out. I didn't hide anything. I didn't sugarcoat it. I said, if you want to go to the next level, I can help you get there. And one thing that I find ironic too is they kept talking about, like, Deion said, they were saying to the fact that, you know, they're saying Deion might have paid him. He's like, man, I ain't got no money. I'm at a historically black college. One of the other people was like, yeah, that's true. And the guy's like, well, no, but he said, you act like the historically black college is going to start paying people. He said, you know, back in some of the top-notch colleges, he said, you know, they had that duffel bag full with some things. You know what I'm saying? And dude said, now all they doing now is electronic. They just get your cash app, and they just started putting down cash. He said, we don't have no money like that, man. I don't have no money. He said, I'm just trying to get uniforms and trying to get upgraded facilities. And y'all talking about money. He said, I can't afford to pay. He said, I can't afford to pay my staff what they deserve to be paid. How the hell I'm gonna pay some players? Found that quite ironic.
Yeah, that is ironic that, you know, you starve these universities and they can't make the money and can't compete in those levels as far as money, but you accuse them of using money to get the top recruit. not just heavy duty and great recruiting, but they had to do something foul to get this particular player. Last second shot, Black.
Ooh. I am starting to wonder, and I'm not saying it's the NBA's duty responsibility, but Becky Hammond coaching the NBA or the WNBA? I would hate to see her go to the WNBA and coach. And I'm not saying that's a downgrade, but in reality, it is a downgrade. She's put her time in. She's proven that she's worthy, that she can handle it. I want to see her get a shot in the WNBA, bro. And I'm not saying just because she's a woman, she's just qualified. It's the right thing to do. So if San Antonio Spurs don't step up and give her an opportunity, I'm hoping that some other franchise in the NBA see her as a viable coach candidate and hire her. That's my shot.
Ice.
Ooh, I was going to jump on that. That's juicy. I had to wait till next week. But I want to give kudos to Jackson State and Deion Sanders for what he did and was able to do, grabbing the number one pick from high school in football. Because it sets a tone, sets a precedent for so many others following behind him. And the one thing I really like about this is Deion Sanders is not afraid to let the athletes be who they are. And what I mean by that is there are some players that are like himself, can play two sports. And he's like, yeah, you can play both ways in football, but you also can play two sports. There's a young man, I think I sent this to you, Puma, by the name of Malachi Weidman. Mm-hmm. And he's a wide receiver on Jackson State football team, a true freshman, but that's not his game. He's a hell of an athlete, but you want to see a hooper that just flies and can dunk and do all kinds of different things as a freshman. Need to check this young brother out for Jackson State that's going to play basketball. So the fact that Deion Sanders has no problem letting him, go between two sports, because one, I think is healthy for those that can do it. I think that's what's wrong with high school now too. Everybody's so focused and regimented. Oh, my son got to be ready for the high school combine so he can only play basketball. Really? So are your kids stressed out and you got him popping pain pills and going to see psychiatrists because he's too focused on one thing. Should run track, do some other things too. I think the old school way was the way, man. I mean, until you get to that point where you have to focus on one thing, there's nothing wrong with playing different kind of sports and kind of taking a break. Everybody's too daggone focused.
Yeah, it was mandatory. When I went to high school, you had to play two sports. So it was football and track for me. And it served me really well because it kept you in shape, kept you focused. You got to meet a lot of other people. You got to grow. My last second shot is put some respect on Isaiah Thomas's name. I'm not talking about the Isaiah Thomas that plays for the Lakers, but the Isaiah Thomas that played for the Detroit Pistons. I was watching an interview he did with Bleacher Report, and all the great teams and players of his era, Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons beat. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Celtics. They beat Michael Jordan and the Bulls. They beat up everybody. Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trailblazers. So when you talk about point guards and Hall of Fame point guards, you need to put some respect on Isaiah Thomas's name. That's our show number 2. The NFL picks come up next. We'll give you the lowdown on who's in the league and who's maneuvering for this last couple of weeks. NFL picks. We'll be right back. Welcome to the NFL picks, and we have Blackdoor and Icewater tied for the lead going down the stretch. It's like playoff football right now, going down to the wire. So let's go off with the leaderboard right now. We have Icewater with a 144-79-1 record. Blackdoor has the same record. Pop slipped a couple, and I talked to him earlier, and he's like, yeah, I got to get back in the groove. He has a 142-81 record with one tie. And I'm just swinging for the fences, trying to be more respectable at a 133-90 and one league. You got Blackdoor with his Bowery Boy hat on. What do you want to say, sir?
I think there's 3 weeks left, bro. I know it may not matter to you because you're in the rear, but I think there's. I think we got 3 more weeks of post. I could be wrong, but I think we got 3 more weeks of post too.
I'm counting this week. This week is.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm talking to Pops. Pops, turn your volume a little bit so you make sure you hear me. You gonna slow walk who? I'm walking. You better just make sure you're walking correctly before you try to slow walk me, bro. do that right. Stay up straight, walk slow, and walk with a good pace. You don't want none of this, Pops. You don't want none. I gave you a Christmas gift on Thanksgiving Day early. It wasn't sweet potato pies. It was 2 wins. And you didn't know how to treat that. So this is what you get, bro. This is what you get.
And Black is very distracted with that big cheesecake on his bed. Ice, what are your words for this week in the NFL picks? Week 15.
Well, like I said, it's going down. You know, it is what it is. You know, that's this how we get it done. That's why I had to bring out all the stops tonight. Had to let y'all know what's going on, baby.
Readers Cup hat.
Bring it in, baby. Those that know, you better ask somebody. You better look it up. That's what we're coming up with too. I had to bring the big guns out. Now Black Thor sitting at the table. You know what? Great, you know, men come out with the dueling effects and ready to move forward. So it's on, baby. Like I said, so welcome. I'm glad you're here. Get comfortable. You know, we treat our guests well till it's time to go to war. So let's get it.
All right, I don't get to wear a hat because I ain't nowhere near the league. Anywho, the picking order changes this week. I'm going first, followed by Ice Water, Pop, and then Black is picking last.
That last week the same way? No, just playing. Was that the same order last week?
No, it wasn't the same order.
What was the order
last week?
Who went last week? Last week.
I went last week.
You sure you went last week?
I'm sure I went last week.
Oh my God.
Pressure is rising, baby. The pressure is rising.
No, pressure ain't rising. I know that some people have asked for the chairman to check this a number of times. I'm just asking to be sure. That's all. I had that right. Ain't no pressure rising.
All grievances are accepted.
I just asked the question. I just asked, was this the same order last week? Now you talking about it's pressure. Ain't no pressure. I had a right to ask the question, what was the order? Okay, you said
all I know is when we had a deadline for Thanksgiving, I got my picks in on time. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, that's great and that's fine. But again, did the game start? Was any game start? That's what I want to know. Did the game start? No.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
The picks were in on time.
Tell you, what, we in school? I'm always gonna be tardy. We in school. I meet the deadline. I'm at the last end for the Pell Grant. The hell, come on, man.
All right, this week 16, we have San Francisco at Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee, even though they dropped the ball with Pittsburgh. I don't expect them to do that with San Francisco at home. Ice, who you got?
Wow, this is a tough game. Dang, I'm gonna lose already. Let's see. Who you got, Black Thor? No, is that Thursday? That's Thursday?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go with, you know what? Just because I need to do the right thing and I'm gonna stay on track. There we go. All right. I'm going with San Francisco.
Okay. All right. Pop is going with San Francisco. Also, Black, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the 49ers here, man. They got something going. I watched them a couple of weeks ago where Jimmy G brought them back to win a game. And as much as I like to see Tennessee do their thing, they showed me something against the Steelers, bro. They were running the ball strongly. And for some reason, decided to put the ball in the quarterback's hand. And 49ers got something going on, but I don't care where they're playing this game. I'll take the 49ers.
All right. Next game on tap is Cleveland at Green Bay. Cleveland was missing a lot of players. I don't know how many players they're going to be missing this week, but I'm going with Green Bay at home in Lambeau. Ice?
Aaron Rodgers on a mission, bro. Bad toe and all. Trying to tell y'all, bad toe and all. They just, after a while, like I said, they got that switch. They can click it real early this week because it's not going to take much to beat Cleveland, especially with all of the losses that they have. This could be over by halftime. I'm taking Green Bay.
All right. Pop is going with Green Bay. Black, who you got?
I don't trust Green Bay's defense, but I do think Aaron Rodgers wants to win this and walk away from that. I think he wants to hurt that franchise. I think he wants to win. That's the mission, and walk away and see them suffer with the rookie quarterback. I'm sorry, not the rookie quarterback, but the quarterback they draft when he got his little baby feelings hurt. Green Bay.
All right, Green Bay across the board on that one. Next game on tap is Indianapolis at Arizona. Arizona dropped. They're dropping games that they should be winning, especially against Detroit. That was really disappointing. But I gotta go with them back at home cooking, Arizona. Ice.
Wow, this is a tough game because little dude is saying they ain't nothing's wrong, everything is fine. He got his boy AC Green, you ready to go forward. So everything is fine, but I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of looking at it. Ooh, at home too. Ooh. But you know what? Arizona. I'm gonna go with Indianapolis, man.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going Indianapolis.
You and Pop must be in synergy because he's going to Indianapolis too.
He just called me. Hold on. Pop. Yeah, they try to be slick over here, Pop. Black Thornton, which I think he's slick. We got him. Don't worry about it, Pop. You see me? I got you. Don't worry about it. We good. See you later, Pop.
Black, who you got?
Yeah, there's something wrong with Arizona, bro. You just don't get. I mean, not only to lose to the get beat down by the Cardinals. If the Colts could just say, you know what, we're gonna pound the ball with that running back, they're gonna win this game. I'm gonna take the Colts, man, because I don't trust their quarterback Wentz, but at the same time, I think there's something going on wrong with that offense, the Cardinals. And I think they're not ready yet. They're just not ready.
What would be the over/under on 2 picks from Wentz?
Wow, I'm gonna go with. I would take 2 over 2.
Okay. Breeders' Cup, over/under.
Under, baby. Yeah, well, because one, he's not gonna have the pressure. You know, you keep running the ball, keep moving the ball, it's not gonna have to be the pressure for him to throw that rock like that. So they keep moving the ball and they go up, then the pressure is gonna be flip side on the Cardinals.
Okay. Next game on tap is Buffalo at New England. I'm going with New England because New England owns Buffalo. Simple as that. Ice.
This might be for the marbles, baby. We'll see what Black Thornton gonna do. You're the last pick. How dare do you dare to stand on your own accord and make your own pick? Or you gonna follow like others do? Anyway, with that being said, because as you said, New England owns Buffalo, Mac Jones. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna choose the Bills. Anyway, Buffalo, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't worried about Mac Jones. Buffalo.
Going with the Bills Mafia. Papa's going with New England. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I like you said earlier, they have Buffalo's number. They have their head. The defense alone is going to keep the Patriots in this game. I don't expect them to do much to win this offensively, but they'll find a way to win. Patriots got beat down last week. They're going to try to bounce back. I'm taking the Patriots.
All right. So Ice is the only one in the picking against everybody else. Next
This
game
ain't Jacksonville.
Next game on tap is Baltimore at Cincinnati. I'm going with Cincinnati at home. They got all their players, no COVID protocols or anything like that. Maybe that will be the advantage they need. Ice, who you got?
Wow, yeah, no Lamar Jackson. I like Huntley though. I like him. He's a gamer. I think he's gonna serve them well down the line. He might be better on another team, but yeah, I can't see the Bengals going back to back where they just don't look good at all. And Baltimore they got the MVP of that team right now is that the tight end Andrews, who's in my fantasy tight end. I love it. Every week he breaks all kind of records because he's the only person catching the ball. But I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's gonna find a way because they were horrible last week.
All right, Pop is going with Cincinnati. Black, who you got?
Yeah, Cincinnati scared the hell out of me last week, man. I had them, and I was almost regretting it. But I'm gonna tell you something. The quarterback that came in when Bridgewater got hurt. He scared the hell out of me too because he was moving them up and down the field. What Bridgewater really wasn't doing. But I don't. Something about the Ravens all year, man. They fight to make it a game in the fourth quarter. It's catching up with them, and I just don't trust them with that. If there was home, I might think a little differently. But I'm gonna take the Bengals with this one.
All right, the Cincinnati across the board with that game. Next game on tap is Detroit at Atlanta. I'm gonna go with ATL. Who you got, Ice?
Man, it's crazy because golf is trying to keep up, and I love Detroit's attitude right now. They're playing real hard. The coach Campbell's trying to get them together, but wow, Detroit gets in their own way. The thing too is Detroit has a nice little two back tandem at running back because the Williams kid is really good when he's not hurt. But nah, Atlanta's going to win, and this is for you, Puma. Atlanta's going to win because they have one of the best kickers in the NFL football. Mr. I think it's Cool was one of the best field goal kickers. And the factor that they're playing inside the dome, all they just need to do is get him was inside 55, bro. Dude probably kick 5 field goals to win the game. I'm going with Atlanta.
Yeah, okay. Papa's going with Atlanta. Black. I don't blame Urban Meyer for kicking the kicker. I've been wanting to kick kickers for years, so I ain't mad at him for that. If he got fired for that, shame on Jacksonville. Who you got in this game?
Wow. What's name is not playing through the COVID. Detroit's quarterback. For that reason, I'll take the Hawks. Not that he's good, but I think that the little momentum that they were having with him to kind of fizzle out. I'll take the Hawks. I mean, not the Hawks, the Falcons with this one.
All right. Next game on tap is Jacksonville at the New York Jets. I'm going with the New York Jets on this one. I can't go with Jacksonville with anything. All right, so you got.
This is horrible. This is absolutely.
It's really hard. It is really bad.
These are two teams that have let me down. Jacksonville last week. I don't know what Jacksonville is doing. There's no way they should not have beat Houston last week. That's coaching or whatever. I don't know what the hell. Well, they didn't have a coach, but they brought in the assistant, the interim coach. That I think he was the offensive coordinator. That says a lot. But the Jets show some pride, defensive wise, and I got to choose the lesser two evils. So I'm gonna choose the Jets.
All right. Pop is going with the Jets also. Black, who you got?
Yeah, the Jets showed up last week, man. They showed up. They played hard. They lost, but they played hard. They'll play harder than Jacksonville. I'll take the Jets.
All right. It's the New York Jets across the board on that game. Next game on tap is the Los Angeles Chargers at Houston. I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers. Ice, who you got?
Houston's on the road. Last week they beat a very solid Jacksonville team, and now they're ready to continue on their winning ways. Not going with the Chargers, bro. You kidding me? I'm still mad about that, but Chargers.
Pop is going with the Chargers. Black?
Yeah, Chargers might be on their way to the playoffs, man. They just might get there. They should have won that game last week. Just can't see, but Kansas City's starting to come on strong. I'll take the Chargers.
All right. That's the Chargers across the board on that one. Next game on tap is the Los Angeles Rams at the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams. They seem to be trying to make this this run to try to solidify their spot in the playoffs. Ice, who you got?
Man, Minnesota's just so daggone up and down. And then the Rams can play with anybody when they feel like they step up to the plate, when they really perform like they're able to, but you just don't know. So the question is, do I lean on Kirk Cousins? Or do I think even if the Rams have a bad game, can they win? Cousins, Rams.
All right.
Yeah.
Pop is also going with the Rams. Black?
Kirk Cousins, he probably going to miss sleep all week, man, knowing that Donald's coming after him. I'm taking the Rams with this one, baby. Pad Kirk Cousins, please.
Yeah, and Vaughn Miller. And they're going to be, that's going to be bad. Next game on tap is the New York Giants at Philadelphia. I'm going with Philadelphia. Went with Philadelphia last week. They did a brother good. Ice, who you got?
I have to say, though, Saquon Barkley was trying his butt off, though, last week, despite the situation. He was running his butt off until he got hurt.
You saw that one hand catch he had?
Yeah, he was, I was sitting there going, I was like, I got a fantasy thing I could throw him in real quick because he was playing ball. But he got hurt, then they brought in a backup. Backup wasn't bad either. Like, wow, okay. But Giants, and who are they playing again? Remind me?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia. Devontae Smith and Minshew Yeah, it's a nice little combination, and they're able to get the job done. They really have not missed Jalen Hurts a lot, so Giants don't have enough though. I'm gonna roll with Philadelphia.
All right. Papa's going to Philadelphia. Black.
Yeah, he's back. I see played last night. He wasn't too bad. He played last night. Yeah, I don't know if the Giants, what are they gonna give out this week? Coke? They gave out Pepsi last
Giving out
week.
sodas.
Bruh, how bad is it? Appreciation? I mean, realistically, how about give out T-shirts?
How about give their money back?
Yes, for the bad season. A Coke? I mean, a Pepsi? That's disrespectful, bro. All the money that franchise is making, you can put out T-shirts.
Yeah, give out jerseys.
Something.
Giants ain't using them.
Unreal. I'm taking the Eagles, man. I mean, that just shows you how bad the Giants really are, bro. That's horrible. A Pepsi?
I don't want to talk about the Giants anymore this season. Next game on tap is Tampa Bay at Carolina. I'm going with Tampa Bay, even though couldn't score a point against New Orleans. That was, I watched that game. That was New Orleans played a great defensive game. They did everything you needed to do to Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady didn't have some of his weapons, but they did everything you needed to do to Tom Brady. And I expect teams to be looking at that film to see how to frustrate the Tampa Bay offense on that one. Ice, who you got?
Yeah, and they did well against Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay is rounding up the troops because AB on his way back and he's bringing his boy with him. Le'Veon Bell is coming. Le'Veon Bell is coming.
Le'Veon Bell's coming.
So they bringing all the dogs back. In about 2 weeks, Mike Evans be back. Then the tight end Gronkowski come. Everybody gonna come back. They're gonna be all you like, well, they ain't played all year. I know, but don't worry about it. We ready now. With that being said, I told you he's setting y'all up again. That's what Tom Brady do. Oh, he too old. They knocked him around. Okay. He gonna make one last run. I think he gonna walk away. But my choice is Tampa Bay.
All
right. Papa's going with Tampa Bay too. Black?
I don't know if you heard the press conference that Cam Newton gave after the game. He was talking, he said, play this game, you have to keep your mind straight. You can't think about stuff that's going on off the field and bring it onto the field. And I'm saying to myself, what is Cam talking about? I heard one day this week, Cam has 7 kids. I see why you keep coming back and playing, bro. You don't want that cobra to kick you.
Yeah, 7 kids?
7.
Wow.
7, bro. I'm like, damn, Cam. So anyway, this is a no-brainer for me. This is a game that Tampa Bay will look better than what they probably will be when playoff time comes. But I was a little surprised that they reached out and got Le'Veon Bell. I really was, bro. That kind of surprised me. I thought they had some other running backs they would go to. I'm not sure what he's going to give them, but with Brown coming back, oh yeah, it's going to be air it out to Brown, air it out. So Tampa Bay will win this one easily.
Okay. Tampa Bay across the board on that one. The next game on tap is Chicago at Seattle. I'm going with Seattle in the 12th man. Ice, who you got?
You not going with Fields?
So they get an offensive line and receivers and a defense and a coach and a GM.
That's 95% of the team. And you still going to put that man out there trying to get him hurt?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the last game, and the commentators were sounding like it was a funeral for Nagy. It's like they know. And they were talking, he did this and he did that, and, the COVID and all that other stuff. And I'm like, oh, man, it's got to be hurting this team. It's got to be in the psyche of this team that they're trying to win, but they don't have the skills and the team and the players to do it. They just don't.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that means I'm going to have to choose their opponent then. I can't go with Chicago.
All right. Seattle for you. Papa's going with Seattle. Black?
Saying there's no love for Russell Wilson in Seattle, man. The teammates are against him. He's throwing air balls up in the air. Even though it being said, they'll win this game. I'll take Seattle. I'm just wondering why Chicago went to the scene to fire this guy at the season. I don't understand it. You played better when he was on COVID. Fire him. Fire him. Be done with it. And they instead of general manager packing with, I don't understand. What are you waiting for? You got what for what? The week he was on COVID, they played better. Huh?
Who else you gonna pick up? I think they're trying to get rid of the whole coaching staff. Who else you gonna put in his place?
But my point is, as bad as he's been, fire him now. Why wait the end of the year? Again, they played better when he was not on the sidelines. They played better. They're more inspired. Get him out of there.
Yeah, I agree, but I think they're just going to just wait out these 2 games, and that's going to be it. Or, knowing Chicago, they'll bring him back for another year. Next game on tap is Denver at Las Vegas. Got to go with Las Vegas on this one. Bridgewater still has that concussion. I don't expect him to come back. And Vegas wants to go out with a bang, so I'm going with Vegas. Ice?
Yeah, Teddy B is down, but Blackthorn said that backup didn't look too bad. I didn't get a chance to see the game. But nah, I got to go with Vegas. I can't trust it, even though they got a nice little running back duo of Melvin Gordon and Williams out there as well. But I don't think they're going to have enough for what the Raiders can do. I don't think they'll be able to match their offensive production. So, Raiders.
All right. Black?
I'm going to say this, man. This may move you out your seat, boom. Carr is going to be available next year. And I'm going to tell you at this point, honestly, I'd rather have Carr than Russell Wilson. So if you get Carr at a good price, New York Giants, go get him. Go get him. He's going to be available. He's not a bad quarterback. He's just going to be put in a better situation. That's all it is. He just need to be better, put in a good offensive situation with a good offensive head coach. And a good offensive coordinator, good head coach, he's not going to be bad. He wouldn't be bad. I'll take the Raiders, though. Easy.
Yeah. If Carr goes to the Giants and they still have the same coaching staff, it's just going to get worse.
They got to clean house. Giants got to clean house. It's if they come back with that same judge who they should have never hired in the first place, then keep everybody there. It makes no sense to get rid of general manager. I don't think any general manager worth his salt will take that job if the Giants tell him he can't fire the head coach. I'm sorry, he's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah. All right, next game on tap is Pittsburgh versus Kansas City. Going with Pittsburgh in this game. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill out, COVID. Who you got, Ice?
Wow. The magic continues in Pittsburgh with the pixie sticks, all of that. Wow. Where's the game at?
It's in Kansas City.
It's gonna be cold too. I ain't drinking that damn Kool-Aid. Patrick Mahomes gonna find a way. I don't care if he gonna call me. I'm on my way, Patrick. On my way, bro. I can do a slot.
5 and in, 5 and out.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. About 2 touchdowns. Gone and go there, come over to the house, have some dinner and everything. Keep it 100. No.
Get some of that Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah, I definitely. Let me get back at that Negro League baseball arena too, museum. But no, Kansas City, man. It's just I can't do it. I just think Patrick Mahomes he'll find a way, man. This is what you show him. He's going to show you now that somebody out there can catch. Anybody catch a football, it's got to be some backup players that's been waiting to play. And Josh Gordon is out too, so
yeah,
a lot of people. But it's Patrick Mahomes, bro. He might run for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why they're not going to Hardeman quite often as they did in the last couple of years. It's like the other receivers are not getting the lion's share of this. Pop is also going with Kansas City. Black.
Yeah, Kansas City win this game, bro. I mean, I'll say this: by halftime, Pittsburgh would not be close enough to come back in the second half. I don't think it will be. Hardeman has some dropsies, man, so he might have lost the faith of the quarterback. But they got other receivers, man, that they're going to shine out there and roll out there, and they'll probably try to run the ball some too. It's been proven you could run on the Steelers defense, so they'll take this down easily.
All right. Next game on tap is Washington at the Dallas Cowboys. Just me hating the Cowboys, I'm going with Washington in this particular game. Ice, who you got?
Well, for every 5 times they get into the red zone, Dallas scores a touchdown and a half.
The defense won the game last week.
Oh my God. I was just sitting there going, watch, shaking my head. And Dak was a little bit better, but still shaking my head like, anyway, but it'll be enough to beat Washington. So I want to choose Dallas.
All right. Pop is going with Dallas too. Black, who you got?
You know what's funny? If the Packers stumble and lose a couple of games, the Cowboys can end up with the bye. It's crazy is they've been playing the offense and everything, but yeah, that blows my mind. I'll take the Cowboys, but I will say this: once I think the first week they play, they out, bro. They out. That team, that offense is not what they used to be. Now you got the riders, which I don't know why they keep picking on the receivers. They won't pick on Dak, whatever reason. They talk about CeeDee Lamb drops a lot of balls. He dropped 3 or 4 balls. So what? I mean, you see the ball that Dak is throwing? I don't understand. What is it they're afraid of his psychic? They pick on, I don't know if Jerry Jones is telling the Dallas media, this is what I want you to talk about. But if you sit anytime and watch the balls he's throwing, you got to be kidding me. I mean, realistically, let's not even talk about Zeke.
Dallas quarterbacks are always protected. Yeah, Terrell Owens crying about Tony Romo. That's my quarter. Quit talking about my quarter. That's my quarterback, man. And they're always protected.
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I mean, Ice, am I wrong with this? Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks are always protected.
Well, I hear that, but I don't know what protected is because I mean, I don't know. You don't get on that Tony Romo thing. I don't give a damn. He does not belong in anyway. But I'm leaving. But I mean, it's just they pay Dak a lot of money, so therefore they're gonna give him a little break or whatever. But I maybe the offensive coordinator is buying the hype too, because what they should be doing and making more of a balanced team effort, they're not doing. And again, like I said, you have 5, and I might be exaggerating. You have 5 red zone trips, and you're only getting about a touchdown and a half. You can't even put the ball in the end zone against some teams that really are not that great defensively. It's gonna kill you in the playoffs if you make it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get Dak Prescott for MVP, but that's not how you win ball games.
Yeah. All right, the last game on tap is Miami at New Orleans. Tua is the highest rated completion quarterback in the league. I'm gonna go with Miami on this one. Ice?
You ain't going with your boy, the running Caucasian?
The White Flash? No.
Not going with the new version of Fran Tarkenton?
No.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with Miami as well. I like what they do. Not the greatest team at times, but they have enough, I think, to beat New Orleans. New Orleans just came off that big high of beating Tampa Bay, so now they need to be brought back down to earth. And I think Miami's going to get it done. So Miami.
All right. Papa's going with New Orleans. Black, who you got?
Yeah, that defense makes you want to take New Orleans, but I think Miami's going to be able to score at least a couple of touchdowns. I don't trust New Orleans to score. We've seen that against Tampa Bay. They just not going to put any points up. They might get you a field goal. Let's see what. That being said, I'll take Miami.
All right. Those are our picks. We will post them up. And hey, I got to look at the records, man, to see how we're doing against CBS and Fox and all those guys that are picking. I presume that we're doing much better than they are at this particular point. We always do. So we will come back with our results and talk about the games next week. Welcome to the Fight Game. We're going to recap some boxing and MMA. And I'm looking at next year's bouts. And what are you looking forward to next year, and who's going to fight and who's going to be lined up to fight next year? Because, you know, the year is pretty much over. We have a week left, and not too many boxing matches going to happen between now and the end of the year. But who are you looking forward to getting it on next year?
Man, that's all over the place. I mean, of course, you would love to see at some point Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. I'm not sure that's going to happen. So let me do this. I'll tell you some fights I'd like to see. I think they could be feasible or possible, but I'd like to see them because I think it would mean a lot to bring in closer to the top names together and maybe champions scoring off against one another. Let's start out with the welterweight division. Was it junior? Welterweight division. So you have Jerron Boots Ennis. Really wants a shot at Crawford or Spence. He's saying he's ready. He's a young guy. 29 fights, 29 no, something like that, something to that effect. He wants to go for the top. But if he can't go to the top, then let's move closer to somebody in this number, like the fourth ranked guy. And I'm talking about Virgil Ortiz Jr. I think that'd be a hell of a fight between both of them. And then the winner would be able to move up and face one of the top fighters as well in the division. So Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Jerron Boots Ennis. Another fight I would love to see would be because this young man said he's ready for the top notch of fighters now, and it would be perfect for another guy that's trying to come back and prove that he's worthwhile. I'd like to see Devin Haney versus Lomachenko.
Wow, that would be a good one.
Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Let's see. You want to discuss these, or you just want me to keep rolling?
Oh, keep rolling, man, because I know we're going to be talking about them as the year progresses.
Right. Another one would be from lightweight division. The gentleman that beat Teofimo Lopez recently, George Gamboso Jr. versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank Davis is it's time for him to get a real fight. They're trying to put Devin Haney would love to go up against Kambosos, but I think Tank Davis has earned the opportunity.
Okay.
And something that PBC would love to push over. And then the other guys, the younger guys, who have to come up and face Tank Davis if he's able to defeat Kambosos. And I think he's kind of earned that a little bit, particularly with the fact that he's staying at 135. He's not moving to 140 like some people want him to. He's staying at 135 where he can be most effective. That one too. Couple more. Let's see. In the light heavyweight, everybody's talking about Canelo Alvarez going up to light heavy, facing Artur Beterbiev, and how Canelo's going to be one of the only people to go up to 175 and all of that. But you know what? Let's get back to the reality of it. And nothing wrong. I'm not hating on Canelo, but let's get back to the reality of the same division fighting one another and making a good fight. So I'm looking at Artur of Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, which is right below Beterbiev. That'd be a hell of a fight. Two guys, light heavyweights, coming at one another and getting on. That'd be a good fight to see. Two others, junior middleweight. Our buddy, we haven't heard from him in a long time. Erickson Lubin. Erickson Lubin versus Tim Tszyu. Tszyu is 20-0. Yeah, I think he's the son of the older Tszyu that fought. So I think he's the son of a relative. He's 20-0 against Erickson Lubin, who's trying to get back to maybe a rematch with Charlo. So before you get that, you might as well come see Tszyu at junior middleweight. That might be more feasible. And last but not least, let's say two other ones. The other one I like to see just because it's called out, even though he needs 8 months, let him have 8 months. Keith Thurman versus Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been calling for that. He said he wants to see Crawford. So if Crawford can win his, if he can win his fight coming back, Keith Thurman, that is, in February, then let's get that out the way. But last but not least, some people have been running their mouths at 130. So we're going to look at Oscar Valdez Jr. versus my son, Shakir Stevenson. Yeah, it's time for him to come on and clean that up before he moves up to 135 and start handling business. So he'll take that fight. I'd like to see that. Another fight I'd like to see, I know I overextended. One other would be either there's a young man, but he won't fight in him, but somebody to fight, I don't care who it is, at 126. I need to see Gary Russell Jr. in a major fight.
Okay.
Even a rematch with Lomachenko would be nice.
Okay.
Because I think he had Gary Russell Jr. felt like he had some unfinished business. And I'd like to see that, or even Gary Russell Jr. versus my other son, Leo Santa Cruz.
Okay. Now, one of your other sons, Shakira Stevenson, Yahoo put out their pound for pound boxers, and this is from December 13th. As of December 13th, Shakur Stevenson is number 10. So I remember you putting him on your list last time we did the top 10 on our pound for pound. Also at number 9, Josh Taylor. You have Usyk at number 8. Juan Francisco Estrada at number 7. Earl Spence drops to number 6. Lomachenko, number 5. Fury, number 4. The Monster, number 3. I see he keeps kind of moving up in the ranks, and a lot of attention is being paid to him lately. Terrence Crawford moved to the number 2 spot, and of course, they're keeping Canelo Alvarez at the number 1 spot. What do you think about the latest list of the top 10?
I mean, it's all up to interpretation. The Monster being that high, I mean, I think they put him up there because he's been very dominant in this area. I need to see the Monster fight somebody. I think the guy was it Stephen Fulton is like at 118 or something. I think that'd be a decent fight for the Monster. Also, too, even though just for giggles, it may not be, you might not have anything left. You know, they're pumping up Estrada too, right? But Estrada fought my guy, Chocolatito Gonzalez. Gonzalez about 100 years old, but that's a fight he did not lose. I think they kind of robbed him one, and he's going to have a rematch with Estrada. But I like to see the Monster versus like Chocolatito. That's an old Grizzly veteran, been around for a long time. So I guess my only problem with the Monster is I like to see him with some more names that we know. But in order for him to do that, he's going to have to move up. So the question is, can his body handle that?
Yeah.
Can he go from 118, go up to 118, and can he go to 126? If he can't, then that's what that is. Even with Estrada, I mean, it's like they put him right up there. Did you mention Usyk in there? Usyk?
Yeah, Usyk. Yeah, he's at number 8, and
Okay.
you know he holds the IBF, WBA, and WBO heavyweight championship. And I remember him talking about coming down to cruiserweight to fight Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah. I'm glad to see. I saw in another poll, pound for pound, they had Usyk as high as 4.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't get that. I mean, you beat a guy in Anthony Joshua that he's proven that he can lose at the drop of a hat, and then to have a cruiserweight that high and heavyweight, then the pound for pound is kind of disrespectful. So I'm glad they had that there. If you're gonna put the Monster at 3, how can Shakur Stevenson be 10? I guess he should be glad he's on the list, huh?
Yeah, well, I didn't see why dropping Earl Spence at number 6, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that, because in other pound for pound, you had Earl Spence ahead of Terrence Crawford, and then he beats Porter, and then now he's number 2.
Well, I think part of it is for some people, unfortunately for Errol Spence Jr., his inactivity. A lot of people put now. I mean, some people have been waiting 2 years for somebody to defend their titles, but because Errol Spence Jr. has not been active, they say that. And then the factor, I think, for some people that Crawford stopped Porter, and they're saying, well, Spence didn't stop Porter, but Crawford did. And then, of course, they're going off all that too. But I mean, you got to pick your poison. It's Ganel Ganop. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have Gennady Golovkin in there. He hadn't fought in 2 years either.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of way, but I think that's the one thing that I would just say that the Monster that high, they just have become enamored. He's a hell of a talent when you watch him, but there's enough people, if he's able to move up, then we get to see how good the Monster really is. And no fault of his own, but you move up to 118 against a guy like Fulton or 126, you might be able to get a little Gary Russell Jr. like, then we get to see what's really going on. And then if you just feel you don't know about the waters, if it's too big for you, you know, Chocolatito Gonzalez at his 99-year-old self will be ready to be glad to step in the ring with you and see if you have what it takes.
All right, before we go to MMA, there was a boxing exhibition that happened, and I did not watch it. I refuse to watch these exhibitions anymore, especially with the Logan brothers, because you keep hearing a lot of talk about these fights being fixed. And I saw the first fight, and I'm like, you know what? this is going to be a waste of time watching the second fight because you know the result's going to happen. But there was this spectacular knockout, which I just sent you a story from an outlet that says, you know, he Woodley paid somebody for a meme or something like that, $5,000. And a lot of people that I talk to, especially guys that I talk boxing and MMA with, they're like, you know, this is a fix. Now Masvidal, Logan's trying to lure Masvidal into the ring. And so your thoughts about this, man?
Again, I always said, I'm going to say it again. It's an exhibition. Now they're saying that Paul gave Woodley the sign and show him, and then he responded with whatever. I mean, that's what they're doing, man. Paul wins. Paul keeps his people rolling. He's entertaining. Probably pays somebody off, right? Because now the one thing they did say, which was very interesting to me, it almost reminds you of wrestling or wrestling where I come from, is when he mentioned after the fight that Woodley took the fight 2 weeks on a 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks. So he said, oh, he's been training for fights all the time, but 2 weeks notice after the Fury brother dropped out.
Right.
So he's like, oh, I'm ready to go. But it is clearly Paul's show, Jake Paul's show. He controls it. If you buy into it and get sucked into it with all of the stuff that's going on, yeah. But the one thing he does not want to do, unless he has to have guaranteed Bitcoin and some cash down, you do not want to see a Masvidal. Because the only way you're going to get him to fall, you got to pay him mega dollars. Because one thing Masvidal can do, he can punch. But again, if I see that like that, which I'm hoping that there's still some clarity in real MMA sports, because if he goes over there, you almost have is going to be set up for Paul to have a spectacular knockout win and his cronies or whatever go nuts. So one thing he's a hell of a marketer and a showman. He knows that game well, and he sells it because people buy it. So I give him that much, nothing else, but sit there and watch it as if it's real boxing.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are like yourself are finally realizing what I was trying to say a long time ago. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo.
Yeah, and it's kind of just boosting up that YouTuber kind of thing. And your boys went into boxing, the NFL versus the NBA, and Darren Williams is like, I'm gonna take my old ass back down and sit down because I ain't no boxer. Jesse, take these gloves off me, like in the penitentiary movie.
Yeah, which was great. I'm glad he said that because at least he's being brutally honest. He came out and said, you know what, man, I won the fight if you want to. Frank Gore is he's just a hell of an athlete and just out there. He didn't want to be denied, but he looked real bad. The one thing too about the referee, I'm sitting there going like, when are you going to ever tell them they can't punch on the break?
Yeah.
I know you're supposed to protect yourself at all times, but half the good shots Darren Williams got off was when he was holding or they were being pushed away. He was punching him in the head and wow, yeah, it was a mess, bro. So at least Darren Williams said, I'm done.
It's one and done. That's it.
I admire that for him walking away and quit trying to take the people's money.
Yeah. So let's go to MMA with Derek Lewis, the heavyweight, another spectacular knockout. And he wasn't impressed with the win. And he's just a character to me. They call him the Black Beast. And he has a record of 26-8 in MMA. Also, he has a record of 17-6 in the UFC. And I can't see anybody beating him at this particular point. But he usually puts his opponents to sleep. And what do you think about the Black Beast in the MMA?
Yeah, I mean, he's carving a niche for himself, right? He's knocking people out. He's been doing well lately, and he's just kind of biding his time. I mean, you cannot take away anything from him. It's his time. You know, you think about it from the standpoint of, you know, Conor McGregor had his time, right? The Diaz brothers had a nice little run. John Jones had a run for a while. What's my man? Cromie? What's the other heavyweight that John Jones used to fight all the time? He's an announcer now. I can't think of his name.
DC.
DC, yeah. DC had his run. So all guys have had runs, things like that. Miles Vidal had a nice little run. And I think this is Lewis's run right now. So we'll see what he does the rest of the way. But don't get too comfortable, because I'm telling you, the way that I saw my girl Amanda Nunes lose, anything is possible. Stay on your toes, because nobody's immune to whatever. What I did find ironic is they know how to bait you. Evidently, Conor McGregor is trying to come out. He wants that third fight with my buddy Nate Diaz. Been calling him out. And Nate Diaz said, no, I'm not ready for this, because you know it's a fight everybody wants to see. You know what Nate Diaz told him? Get your broken leg fixed, and then come see me.
Yeah. I think that's the only place he can go right now, because he can't fight the top guys anymore. But he is a showman. He will bring a lot of attention, and he will bring a lot of money to a fight. But to have him kind of fight the top guys after he keeps getting beat by some of the top guys, right now he has to go down to, and I wouldn't say down to, but he has to fight folks that are not in the championship level, like a Diaz, and kind of build his brand back up, or build his career back up to get another, to me, a fair title shot in the UFC.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not sure how much longer Conor McGregor is going to be around, or if he wants to be around. Yeah. But everybody knows, regardless of when they fight, they could be 62 years old. That's a fight you want to see. You want to see Nate Diaz versus, Conor McGregor, because the first two were dynamic. Nate Diaz surprised him in the first one. Second one, Conor McGregor was able to get the victory. And the third one is going to be full of strong efforts and very strong physical violence and a lot of talk. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it whenever they fight. Hopefully it won't be too long.
One last question before we get out of here. Where do you see like boxing and MMA and UFC kind of crossing, and fighters fighting each other in the different divisions? Do you see that ever kind of crossing? And some serious fights, not fights that are kind of gimmicky and exhibition, but some serious fights where some UFC fighters are crossing over to box, and some boxers are crossing over to do some UFC.
See, because boxing is so pure, right, in its nature, I'm not sure it's going to be something like that. You might have it where they have a combination where they have like a league or something, but the purists that are boxers, I can't see them really crossing over. I mean, I can see more MMA guys thinking they can do it because they can punch, but the purists and boxers there's a certain way you train, right? It's just totally different. I mean, you can box and maybe be on your feet all night long and dance around and whatnot, but MMA is just, man, you're on the ground, you back up. And so I can see if boxers do go over there. I mean, look at Clarissa Shields. I mean, she went over there and got her head tapped. It's just a different ball game. Boxing maybe, but coming back over there, MMA is a monster. This is brutal. People can get hurt. They can get hurt both ways, but I don't know about crossing over from boxing to MMA. That takes years. You can't just go in there and play MMA.
Yeah, it's true.
Clarissa Shields will show you that. She's like, no, I thought she was and she ran back to boxing. She knows.
All right. Size Water, Puma. This is the Fight Game.